Here's a fun experiment. Ask your grandfather what he paid for his first house, then try not to cry. In 1970, the average American house cost about $25,000. A brand new car? Around $3,500 straight off the lot. A movie ticket? $1.50. A gallon of gas? 36 cents. A cup of coffee? A quarter. Same house today? Over $400,000. Same car? $50,000. And the coffee? $5 and they still spell your name wrong. So what happened? Did houses get 16 times better? Did coffee get 20 times tastier? No, something happened to your money. This is inflation. And in the next 8 minutes, you'll understand it better than most adults who complain about it every day. By the end, you'll also know the sneaky trick companies use to raise prices without ever touching the price tag. First, flip the picture. Prices didn't just go up. Your money's power went down. Same dollar, smaller bite. Think of every dollar as a tiny battery of buying power. Inflation is the slow leak nobody hears. And here's the twist nobody tells you. That leak is not an accident. It's designed. Hold that thought. We'll get there. So where does inflation actually come from? There are 3 main engines. Let's open them up. Engine 1. Too much money chasing too few things. When everyone suddenly has extra cash, sellers raise prices. Because they can. Imagine an auction. 10 people, 1 bike. Now hand everyone an extra $1,000. Watch the bike's price fly. That's why printing money doesn't make a country richer. More paper, same stuff. Each paper just buys less. Engine 2. The stuff itself gets scarce. A war cuts off oil. A drought kills the wheat harvest. Fewer things, same demand. Prices jump, nobody printed anything, and inflation still showed up. Remember 2021? Container ships stuck outside ports, empty shelves, used cars selling for more than new ones. That was Engine 2 roaring. Engine 3. Costs roll downhill. Rent rises for the pizza shop. Flour costs more. The delivery driver wants a raise. Guess who pays for all of it? Your pizza does. Every cost in the chain lands on the final price tag. And once it starts, inflation feeds itself. Workers see prices rise, so they demand raises. Businesses pay more, so they raise prices again. The spiral. So, who's supposed to control all this? In America, the Federal Reserve, the Fed, the thermostat of the entire economy. Their main tool is one number, the interest rate, the price of borrowing money itself. Inflation running too hot? The Fed raises rates. Loans get expensive, people buy less, prices cool down. Painful, but it works. Economy frozen? They cut rates. Borrowing gets cheap, money flows, everything speeds up, and prices warm up again. Now here's the part that sounds completely insane. The Fed's official goal is not zero inflation. Their target is 2% every single year, on purpose. It's written right on their website. Wait, the people in charge of protecting your money deliberately shrink it by 2% a year? Why? Because the opposite of inflation is far scarier. Meet deflation, the monster economists actually fear. Deflation means prices fall. Sounds amazing, right? Cheaper everything. Except, why buy today what will be cheaper tomorrow? So everyone waits. Stores sell nothing. Businesses cut jobs and wages. Now nobody has money, so prices fall further. So everyone waits even more. The economy slowly eats itself. That death spiral has a name. The Great Depression. Prices fell by a quarter, and a quarter of all workers lost their jobs. Japan spent almost 20 years stuck in that trap. Falling prices, frozen economy. They call them the lost decades. So central banks pick the lesser poison, a small, steady shrink. Fast enough to keep you spending. Slow enough not to cause panic. 2% sounds harmless. Let me show you what it actually does to your money over time. There's a beautiful trick called the rule of 72. Divide 72 by the inflation rate. That's how many years until prices double. At 2%, prices double every 36 years. At 7%, like 2022, they double in just 10. Now, flip it around. Cash hidden under your mattress loses half its buying power every 36 years. Your mattress is a slow furnace. And no, your checking account barely helps. It pays basically zero. Same mattress, nicer logo. $100 from 1,970 buys about $12 worth of stuff today. 88% of it quietly gone. Nobody robbed you. There was no crash, no scandal, just a tiny leak working every single day for 50 years. That's why economists call inflation the silent tax. No bill, no receipt, no vote. It just collects. And unlike a real tax, it never needs to pass Congress. No debate, no signature. It's already working. And it doesn't hit everyone equally. Inflation has favorites. Let's meet the winners and the losers. Loser number 1, savers. Money sitting still is money shrinking. The more careful you are with cash, the more you quietly lose. Loser number 2, anyone on a fixed income. A flat pension against rising prices means getting poorer every month without spending a cent more. Winner number 1, borrowers. You borrow heavy dollars and repay with lighter ones. Inflation quietly eats a piece of every old debt. Think about it. A 30-year mortgage from $1,995 looked terrifying. By 2020, those same monthly payments felt like pocket change. And the biggest borrower on earth? Governments. Trillions in debt melting a little every year. Now guess who sets the inflation target? Winner number 2, people who own things. Houses, land, businesses, stocks, stuff tends to rise with prices. Cash doesn't. This is the quiet divider. People who own assets ride inflation like a wave. People holding only cash get pulled under it. Now let's catch inflation red-handed at the grocery store. Because it's sneakier than just raising prices. Meet shrinkflation. The price stays exactly the same. The product shrinks. Your chip bag, same bag, more air, fewer chips. Orange juice quietly went from 64 ounces to 52. Toilet paper rolls got narrower. Candy bars got thinner. Same price tag. Companies do it because we notice prices, but we don't weigh our groceries. The label is the magician's other hand. There's also skimflation. Same price, worse service. Thinner napkins. Longer waits. Press 1 for support. Inflation in a costume. So, how is inflation even measured? The government tracks a giant imaginary shopping basket, the Consumer Price Index, CPI, thousands of prices. Rent, gas, bread, haircuts, doctor visits? Average them. Compared to last year, that's the number on the news. But here's the catch. It's an average. Your inflation depends on your basket. Renting? Driving a lot? Feeding 2 teenagers? Your personal rate can run far above the headline number. That's why the news says 3% while your wallet screams 10. You're both right, you're just counting different baskets. Okay, now the history lesson. Because when inflation breaks loose completely, it turns apocalyptic. Fast. Germany, 1923. The government printed money to pay its war debts. Then printed more. Then more. Prices doubled every few days. Workers were paid twice a day and ran to spend it before dinner, because by dinner it was worth less. People burned banknotes for heat. The money was literally cheaper than firewood. Kids built kites out of bills. A single loaf of bread, 200 billion marks. Entire family fortunes worth a postage stamp. Zimbabwe, 2008, printed a $100 trillion note. It couldn't buy a bus ticket. Collectors now pay real money for that note as a souvenir. The joke wrote itself. In Venezuela, shops stopped counting money and started weighing it. When cash needs a scale, the currency is already dead. Hungary, 1,946, still holds the record. Prices doubled every 15 hours. The government eventually gave up and invented a new currency. Every hyperinflation in history has the same root. A government printing money far faster than its economy makes actual stuff. Every single one. The lesson isn't that paper money is evil. It's that money is trust, and trust, once printed away, doesn't come back cheap. So, no, a modern 2% is not Weimar Germany, but it's the same physics, just at a whisper instead of a scream. Which brings us to you. What do you actually do about a leak you can't turn off? 5 moves. Move 1. Stop hoarding long-term cash. An emergency fund of 3 to 6 months is sacred. Keep it. But beyond that cushion, still cash is melting cash. Every extra year it sits, the leak wins. Move 2. Make your savings actually work. Even a high-yield savings account fights the leak. A 0% account is a donation to the bank. Move 3. Think in real returns. Earning 5% while inflation runs 4 means you truly made one. The rest was illusion. Move 4. Negotiate raises against inflation, not against last year. A 3% raise during 7% inflation is a 4% pay cut. Delivered with a smile. Move 5. Read unit prices, not price tags. Cost per ounce exposes shrinkflation instantly. The shelf small print is where the truth hides. And a bonus, debt cuts both ways. Fixed rate debt gets lighter with inflation. Credit card debt eats you alive either way. Know the difference. Now zoom all the way out. Remember the twist I promised? Why the leak is designed. A little inflation keeps money moving. It punishes hoarding and rewards building. Lending, investing. The system does not want your money sleeping. Whether that's genius or theft depends on where you're standing. But it stops being a mystery once you see the design. So here's inflation in one sentence. Your money is ice. The economy is a warm room, and someone controls the thermostat set just above freezing. You can't turn the thermostat off. But now you know why your grandfather's house cost 25 grand and how to keep your own savings from melting. Next, we're opening the most honest, dishonest business on earth. Casinos. Every game is built for you to lose, so why does everyone keep playing? Subscribe.